Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's Coffee and Clouds minicast, the Office 365 You Don't Know. My name is Alan Falcon. I'm the CEO and Pragmatic Evangelist here at Cumulus Global, and I want to thank you for joining me on this, what here in New England turned out to be a sunny, almost spring-like morning, as we talk about some of the capabilities of Office 365 that you might not be familiar with. Before we get into the meat of the presentation, a couple of housekeeping items as always. First, the phone lines, all the audio is muted. That prevents any background noise from disrupting the session today. So if at any point in time of the presentation you have any questions or comments, if you look along the top or right-hand side of your screen, you have a set of icons. Click on the one that opens the questions window. That's the best way. That lets me know you've asked a question. Lets me track to make sure I've got all the questions answered before we wrap up here today. If appropriate, we'll stop along the way and answer questions. If not, we have time at the end of the session for Q&A. As a minicast, this is designed to be shorter than our normal third Tuesday at 3 or K-12 webcasts, which typically run 45 minutes to an hour. Our goal here is 15 to 20 minutes of presentation, Q&A if there's any, and then let you get on, hopefully provide you with some good information, some next steps, and let you get on with your day and your week. So thanks for joining us here today. As I think about why we picked this session, it's really because when we think about the Office 365 ecosystem, most people today that we talk to still think of it in terms of Outlook and Exchange for email, calendaring, and contacts, and sort of the Microsoft Office that they know and maybe love, right? Where you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Maybe folks are starting to use OneNote, maybe not in their Office 365, and most people are also aware that you've got your simple task thing from Office, as well as OneDrive for file storage and SharePoint, which can be used for internal or external web presence, portals, or even a more structured way of organizing your files and documents than the peer-to-peer system in OneDrive. In reality, however, as you can see from the number of icons on the screen, Office 365 is a more robust capability. And a lot of times when people are talking to us about which cloud they should move into, if they're looking at G Suite or they're looking at Office 365, or even for companies that say, we're a Microsoft Office shop, we're comfortable with it, we want to sort of move into the cloud, get those efficiencies, get those change from capital to operating expenditure, get that flexibility, better collaboration, they're unaware of the other components and how it comes into play. And really, Microsoft's strategy is to build a robust suite, very broad, robust suite of highly integrated tools within the Office 365 ecosystem. And so when we look at what's in Office 365 that's not out of the box with your normal Exchange installation plus Microsoft Office on your desktop, there are a number of great services here. There's video management, you've got Power Apps, Flow, Microsoft recently released Teams, and there's some others that we already see companies in use that have been out for a little while that are in use, such as Yammer, which is a social communication tool, Planner, Sway, Delve, Power BI, video, things of that nature. So you get a much more robust environment. And so what we want to do here today is sort of look, we don't have time in our short session to look at all of these, but I want to highlight some that often have very tangible, very real, near-term benefits to small and mid-sized businesses when they move to Office 365. And in many cases, when we talk to companies about moving to Office 365, it's one of the tools I'm about to show you that is the impetus for actually making the change. They might look and say, gee, it'd be good to have not have to run an Exchange server and to have our files more easily accessible and better remote support, but it's not enough to go through the effort of making that migration. Then they see one of these tools and they jump on board. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at 4 of those unique apps, and we're going to do it in a way that that lets you see what it looks like for a real organization. So what we've done is we've built out, and Microsoft gives us a tool to do this. We've built out a virtual company, a pretend company called Contoso that's in multiple lines of businesses. They do big appliances, they do smartphones, they do training, they do other things, and we've populated this company with a data set. And as I log in, you'll see that they're actually, for this company, we've got a number of personas available to ourselves in different roles in the organization. And I've picked the persona today of Alan Steiner, who is the Vice President of Corporate Marketing. And so what you're going to see as I go into the apps, you're going to see real data. It's actually sanitized from real companies, sort of consolidated into this virtual conglomerate, if you will. And we'll take a look at that data, and we'll take a look at these 4 different apps and what they do in a little more detail, but very briefly here within the time frame that we have allowed. So the first one I want to talk about is Delve. And I love this tool because it makes life amongst the Office 365 world much easier. And effectively, the best way to describe it, some people talk about machine learning. This is really artificial machine learning, artificial intelligence, machine learning assisted search, robust search results that respects your access permissions. So you're never going to find anything in search that you shouldn't have access to view or edit, as well as helping you maintain personal profile and even analytics of your own work style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Office 365 environment, and you can see I've logged in. Good morning. Alan Steiner in the upper right-hand corner is my identity, and I've already opened some of the apps, so I'm going to jump into Delve. And what you see with Delve here is you've got popular documents. So these are ones that are out there that a lot of people have been accessing. But, I want to look at myself and what I'm involved with. And you can see here that, I've got my profile here on the left-hand side. Here are recent documents I've worked on. I can say see all. You also know on the other screen that other people I work with see their documents, what they're working on. And so I can go here, and what's unique about this is that you'll notice that when I'm looking at a document, and I'll zoom in a little bit here, you're getting a little bit more than you normally do with a normal search in your file manager, right? So what I'm looking at here is I've got this document on the right. It's a private document. It's mine. I own it. I've got a snapshot visualization of what's in it. I know it's Excel. It's the data analysis of smartphone sales, and it's located on my OneDrive. And I can go here, and I can mark it as a favorite. I can manage what board it's on, because in Delve you can have different boards of things you look at related to projects and worked on. And I've got more options. I can send a link. I can see who can see this document and permissions there. But if I wanted to jump into the document, one click takes me into that document, and it's going to open it up. Okay, and here I hadn't booted up before, but here's Excel Online, and here's the document. I can now work in that document, manipulate the data, and look at various information. And so Delve gives me, that broader view. And what happens, and let me zoom back out here a second. So what happens is you do your analysis. Yes, it's given me recent documents, everything like that, but it also gives me the ability to search. So for example, I'm interested in one of the things we do, for our distributors and our partners and even customers is safety training. I can take a topic like safety training and see that, oh, look, Julian Isla has a Word document that's a statement of work for safety training services. Okay, and if I wanted to, I can then go ahead and open that up. So you have this more robust search. And what's nice is that it's looking at every document I own, every document permissions. It's looking in SharePoint. It's looking in OneDrive for Business. It can look on my local machine as well. It gives you a much broader view of what's available and what's out there. It makes it much easier to find information. And then very quickly, you can sort of look at yourself, and you can also look at your my analytics. And I haven't done much in the session here today, but you can see that it helps me look at how much time I'm spending in email, doing email versus meetings versus focused work or after hours work. And here are my top collaborators I work with and how much I've done lately, and gives me a little more detail. So it actually gives me analytics about myself and my own work environment. So that's Delve. That is one of those applications that we wanted to share with you here today. The next application is Power BI, and I sort of describe this as, Power BI stands for Power Business Intelligence, and really this is data analytics. And the phrase I like to use is this is big data for small business, right? It's easy to build, it's wizard-driven, you get your dashboards with drill down, and a wide range of data sources, not just Excel and Microsoft SQL Server, but dozens of third parties, both online services and local apps, and several hundred partners that we can tap who specialize in Power BI development to tap into custom data sources that you might be running internally. So if we go take a look at Power BI, you start off, you say, oh, there's no cool thing. I've got a favorite dashboard. Let me open up my dashboard. And here's a dashboard comparing two models of smartphones that Contosa sells, by the unit sold, and you can see that we've got calendar month 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 across. I've got a chart here for the period of time, and then I've got an interactive map. And when we talk about building interactive, dashboards and data analysis, we're talking about doing things. So if I just want to look at sales for North America or for the United States, or let's say Canada, let me pick Canada, I click and now I have just the data for Canada. I can click and say just this data for the United States, or I can jump to South America or pull everything back in. Additionally, I can adjust the filters, right? So I can say, you know what, let's look at the impact on one promotion. Okay, and we actually had 3 different promotions going of the different, a 300 launch promotion, a 400 launch promotion, or no promotion in the number of sales, right? And so I have the ability, you can really see, click here, click and drag down and get information. I want to look at a data point. I mouse over it, I do it. And you can set it up so if you double click, you can drill down as well. And there's more things you can do. So I can go in and I can do data analysis for smartphone sales. Oh, that takes me back here. Here's a power map you can create that looks at your data in a new way. Okay. Okay. So here, this is a picture of a power map they created. I can pull up and do North America smartphone, online pre-sales, and then I can look at who's buying it. I can search by gender or take the filter off. Simple clicks let you analyze your data and visualize it in a new way, and it's very easy to connect to data sources. So that is what we talk about when we talk about Power BI and bringing this additional power to you to do that data analytics. Another application that I love and want to share is Sway. And Sway is really about telling your story. And people say, well, what is it? Is it a web development tool? Sort of, because you are publishing using Web 2.0 look and feel. Is it a marketing tool? Yes. Is it a replacement for Microsoft Publisher? In a sense, right, you're not going to use this to create brochures and physical handouts, but you are creating online brochures and online stories. And so let me zip back over and let's go into Sway and take a look. And so Sways are effectively presentations. So if you were using this for marketing, for example, you might you would send people a link to the Sway rather than a set of attachments to a document. If you're looking to create a landing page for a special project, you can do that as well. And so what I want to do is I'm actually going to pull up a Sway for the Art and Film Institute at the LA County Museum of Art that's really letting people know what services are available. And it loads the Sway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the autoplay. And you can see that what you get is a very multimedia experience, right? And this is going to forward every 5 seconds. So we started out with an image, with the movement, a map of where they are, a little bit about it, how teachers use it, and how it becomes a makerspace. And this is really about how you can use this institute for class activities and engagement, at the K through 12 level. And so it's marketing a capability in programs that are available to individuals and to schools in the area as well. And you see here I can pause the autoplay. And what's nice is, sway applications are, I can even stop the autoplay and move manually. Sway applications are, designed to sort of tell that story through words and text, and you can have attachments. And so we've got a great example of a customer of ours who's now building sways for key components of their product line. They manufacture and distribute marine products. And one of the things they do when a boat builder sends them an email saying, what do you got, what do you have for compasses that fit these general specifications, they'd send an email back with 15 to 20 attachments. Now they put together a sway with, glorious images of the products. They use the text over capability to highlight the specifications that are of greatest concern to that boat builder. They can still attach the specification sheets for download, but they're able to tell a much better story about what's going on, with that product, and it's a differentiator for them from a marketing standpoint. And so you have that capability to really tell a story and communicate in new ways. And you can use these as website landing pages. You can embed them in websites as an alternative to a simple video that is telling your story. The final tool I want to talk about here today is Planner, and this is a relatively new addition. And basically, it's task and project management for individuals or groups, and it's simple and intuitive. And as I, jump in, let's switch from Sway over to Planner. And you can see I've got two favorite plans here. I got a nice summary. Let me zoom in. Make it easier to see. You can see that each of my favorite plans has a nice summary up, the number of tasks left, how many days, how many are started, late, in progress, and completed, and gives me a good idea of what's going on. So let me click on one and pull it up. Okay. Okay, and you can see as I come into the marketing plan a couple of things. One, I'm looking at the board, so there are buckets of types of activities that need to be completed. I've got a list of the people that I'm working with. So if I mouse over, I can see, for example, that I'm working with, I know it's a little small on your screen, Alicia Thumber. I can communicate with them as members of this project. And I have other ways of looking at it, right? So I can look at it in terms of charts, who has tasks remaining in progress. But even if I go back to the board, I can also group them by assignment as well as by progress, right? So I get a very, of the 5 tasks remaining, I get a very simple view of what's happening remaining in this task. If any were completed, it goes over to there. So let me actually switch projects, and we can show what this looks like for a more complex project here. And so it's very simple task management. It comes with a notebook. Oh, sorry, this doesn't have the notebook set up yet. Some simple charts, a simple board that lets you track progress. So if you've got an activity, if you've got a project you need to do with a number of tasks or an ongoing team that's working together and you want to track tasks, but you don't need the level of sophistication you have with Microsoft Project, this is a great tool. Remember, Microsoft Project, you do things like resource assignment and resource loading, load balancing, critical path analysis, best path analysis. It's a highly sophisticated project management tool that brings in not just what you need to do and who's doing it, but workload, duration, time frame, cost overruns, resource out. It's a very sophisticated tool. If you don't need that sophistication, Planner gives you a way to track activities and effectively manage projects. And it's a great example of how Microsoft continues to expand and enhance the capability of Office 365. So we look at Office 365. It's more than just your basic productivity tools. It's really designed to be a highly integrated environment, right? So that activities that are happening in Planner that you assign reminders can end up in Outlook. You can trigger calendar appointments in your, scheduling appointments in your calendar. It all really comes together. And what they've done is they've taken that Microsoft Office suite that we know and love, and Office 365 has added web and desktop apps. So some of the apps I've shown you today have desktop versions, others do not. They only run in the web, and that's okay. It's all designed to work. So the real question is, does this fit with what you need for your business, right? Most businesses today have used at some point, are using Microsoft Office on the desktop. Even companies that we've moved to G Suite, some of them still maintain some or all or a portion of their employees using Microsoft Office, and we help them integrate that in, and that does work well. But here what you're getting is you're getting other tools. And the question is, do these other tools add value to your business today or in the future? And the approach we recommend is, the email, calendar, and contacts, it's low-hanging fruit. That's day one out of the box. Using OneDrive and SharePoint for file management and access and control gets a little more sophisticated, gets you a little more involved. Maybe we get that on-premise file server out of the equation and save you some additional money and headaches there. And then the question is, what's next? For some organizations, they've spun up Yammer as the social tool to get the social communications out of email. Other organizations we work with look and say, you know what? I want Delve. I want to teach my people how to use it, how to find things, particularly since we're sharing files in a different way. Others will look and say, gee, it would be great if on a monthly basis I could analyze my sales and have a dashboard there. And we're able to provide that as well. So the question is, does it fit in what is near term and what is long term? And we can help you make those decisions. So if you're thinking about Office 365 or you're debating between Office 365 and G Suite, we've got a number of resources depending on where you are in the process. If you're just sort of thinking, I want to know what's going on out there, but we're not ready to make a move, we've got daily and weekly newsletters that cover all things cloud computing. Check them in. There's interesting stories, hopefully some that provide ideas and inspiration. Our blog talks a lot about the issues facing the decision process, the capabilities of the different systems, other issues, technology related, that are facing small and mid-sized businesses. If you're starting to think about how do I make this decision and know which cloud to move to, and is Office 365 right for me, take a read. It's not a long read. It's our latest ebook, Picking Your Productivity Cloud. This really looks at factors other than cost and your existing familiarity with Microsoft Office or other tools, and looks at other factors, your company culture, your line of business applications, how you want to operate as a business, what your mobile and remote needs are. There's a number of factors that can guide you and help make sure that what you're doing is the best fit for your company. And if you're thinking, gee, I'm ready to make a decision, but I want some advice, then take time to fill out our Productivity Cloud questionnaire. This survey, it's not a little marketing survey. It's going to take you 30 to 45 minutes to complete. In the long form answers, the more information you provide, the better. You fill out that form online. You take that time within, generally it takes us about 3 days. We'll process your results, we'll analyze them, and we'll come back with specific recommendations and justifications for those recommendations based on the information that you've provided to us, and help you start with a path forward. And then we'll schedule a complimentary consulting session to walk through the assessment and our recommendations and see if that actually works for you and you want to move forward in that direction. And as always, if you just want to chat and have questions, contact us to schedule a free Cloud Advisor session. So you're able to contact us with the information on the screen. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us here today. Hopefully this provided some insight into the capabilities of Office 365 that go beyond what you might be familiar with Microsoft Office, and an understanding that Office 365 is not just Microsoft Office in the cloud. So again, my name is Alan Falcon, CEO and Pragmatic Evangelist. I'm going to halt the recording in a second before we head into the Q&A, so if you have any questions, start typing in those question windows and hold on. I want to thank you for joining us here today, whether you're in the live session or whether you're listening to this as a recording. We appreciate it, and as promised, for your attendance here or viewing this recording, we'll get your preferred gift card for a cup of coffee or two out to you shortly. Thanks so much, and a recording of the session will be up on the website shortly. Have a great day.